What's up, Van fam? Ben Price here with Vamonos Vans, back at you again with another video. Today is probably the one that a lot of you have been waiting for quite some time, and it's actually coming at the only available time because she is for sale right now. There's actually some people who might be buying her as early as tomorrow at the time that I'm recording this. By the time I publish it, who knows? She may already be sold. Who am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about the OG Blanca. We've had her for 2 years. She's been rented out pretty much constantly the entire time. I've barely taken her anywhere, and it's time. There's just a lot going on with Vamonos Vans, and we're kind of moving away from doing some of the rentals, more on the builds. We'll talk more about that later. I'll stop yammering and let's get into the tour video. What are you doing over here? You want to come help give everyone a tour of Blanca? Come on, let's go. All right, so here we are inside the camper. I'll go ahead and kind of start talking about everything. We'll talk about materials first. So what I did to be simple is I used melamine on the walls. It's hard and durable, easy to clean, nice and white, just flexible enough for me to follow the curves of the wall. It worked out really nice on this first build. Not sure I'd use it again. It's just not really the quality finish that I'm looking for as far as kind of a really high-end product that Vamonos Vans is trying to put out. But for this first build that I did, for me personally, it worked out great. Love it. Next, super common, we used pine tongue and groove ceiling, stained gray, dark gray, big fan. Normal 12-volt puck lights. Got some gray vinyl flooring from the good old big box store. Again, I love the way that it looks, but probably wouldn't use this stuff again just because it's a little flexible. We like more rigid materials now. Now, if you watched all my build videos, you probably recognize this countertop. It's my piece de resistance. It took me way too long to make it. I would do this again. I just know what I'm doing now. So it would come out, well, it would come out great again. I'd just be able to do it a little bit faster with less mistakes. This is actually 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood, same that we used for most of the cabinetry and everything. But if you look really closely, you can see it's not wood. It's actually concrete, and I used a feather finish, which is actually used for underlayment on commercial flooring, believe it or not, and gave ourselves a faux concrete countertop. Even though it's real concrete, it's just not solid concrete, because any of you who've ever worked with solid concrete know how heavy it is and how fragile it is. And heavy and fragile in a moving, shaking van, not a good idea. So that's what I did. We've got our 2-burner propane stove top here, pretty classic. You see these in vans all over the place. Stainless sink and faucet. Water pump is controlled by that switch right there. And my entire water system is pretty easy to access. All right, here you can see the water pump is actually back there, and then we've got 2.5 gallons of fresh water and 2.5 gallons of gray water hooked up just with regular old quick connects. So you just have to pull that collar up and the whole thing just pops off. Nice and easy, the way I like it. And here we've got all of our electrical. I apologize, it is the middle of the day here in San Diego, so we do have some harsh lighting going on, but hopefully everyone can see what we've got. I've got two 100 amp hour AGM batteries. First and only time I'm using AGM. We actually build our own lithium now, believe it or not. So 200 amp hours total of AGM batteries. powered by 200 watts of solar up on the roof, and then my 40 amp Renogy charge controller. Use those on pretty much all of our builds. We love them. They work. They're easy. 12 volts fuses. We've got a fuse, big ol', I think it's a 200 amp fuse coming from the alternator, so the alternator will also charge the batteries. Got a low voltage cutoff to protect everything, and then a tiny little inverter, which is connected to this guy right here for charging laptops, cameras, phones, all that kind of stuff. Not a big system, not meant to be lived in, really just meant for weekending, hanging out, shooting some footage, basic stuff like that. This cabinet here is kind of the kitchen, cooking and eating. Got some utensils, pots, pans, plates, mugs, all that kind of stuff. French press, very important for van life. And then this is just more kitchen. This is a little bit more utility. We got like a pot, or like a broom, little sweepy guy. I can use words, I swear. This is where our propane connection is. And then we store grates. All the burners and grates. Quick tip, actually, anyone who is traveling with this kind of burner in your van, you really should be taking all of this stuff off of your stove and storing it away somewhere safe when you're driving. I can't tell you how many people I see drive with all of this stuff connected, which is fine if you don't mind rattling, you know, while you're driving down the road. But worst case scenario, you get into an accident, these things, this is like solid iron. It's gonna go flying, and it's either gonna break something in your van really badly, and worst case scenario, it's gonna break you really badly. So take a couple minutes, put this stuff away, save yourself, save someone else. Just a really good idea. I'm gonna swing around here and actually step out of the van for a second. Now in all my other videos, that's what we're gonna call them. They're not vlogs anymore, they're builds, vlogging of building. If you have watched all of my other build videos, then you might not recognize this. This was an afterthought we did after the whole project was finished, and I'm so glad that I did. This is the only piece of the build that actually goes from floor to ceiling, if you look around the whole build here. And before we put that in, it just felt like something was missing. But once that went in, we had a floor to ceiling feature, and it really it tied the whole thing together.
It really tied the room together.
So the closet, that's the feature there. And again, very glad we did it, because you don't really think about storage too much until you need it. And these two shelves right here come in handy quite a bit for myself and for our renters. So that's nice. And then we got our fridge here. Pretty basic, 12 volt. I think it's like a 23 liter. I don't know, don't quote me on that. It's small, but just big enough. Does what we need. And then as far as tech goes, I've got a typical Max Air fan. This is the deluxe, so it's got 10 speeds, in and out control. It comes with a remote that you can set to, temperature to thermostats, whatever. And it also has a rain sensor on the roof, so if it's hot and you want to go for a hike, you can leave the van with the fan running, and if it just freak rainstorm in the middle of it, that will close itself and shut itself off, so the whole van stays dry. Pretty nice. And then for privacy, we just got some blackout curtains here on a track in the back. Those actually roll down and magnet to the door, which is pretty nice. And then opted to not put any windows on the side doors here, which I know a lot of people make or think it makes it look like a creeper van, and that's fine with me because it's nice and stealth. I know we're not creepy. Anyone who knows us knows we're not creepy, but it just helps keep the van nice and incognito so no one knows what's going on inside. Last but not least, show you the bed setup. I am 6'3", so in this particular build, when I thought I was building it just for me, it was really important to have a nice long bed that I could fit on. I've even got some room here for my toesies to hang off. But the whole thing here is pretty simple. I'm sure, again, you guys have seen this a million times before. Got a couple cushions here, 2 actually on the back, and my bed is actually broken up into 2 sections. So we've got some latches right here. Slide this guy out. I keep these nice and lubricated with paste wax, so there's no oil, nothing gets sticky, nothing gets dirty, but the wood slats you can see here will still actually slide against each other really smoothly, because no one wants to struggle setting up your bed, right? So all we have to do now is flop these cushions on down, and that is almost exactly a full-size mattress. Definitely big enough for me to sprawl out on, very comfortable for me and my girlfriend and our dog to sprawl out on. One actually cool little benefit that I didn't plan for, but it worked out, is if you don't extend the bed and you take these back cushions and lay them on the floor, so like if these are collapsed, right, and we take these back cushions, now you can put those on the floor right here, and you kind of have like bunk beds. You can have one down here and one up here. So let's just say it's 2 guys hanging out, they don't really want to cuddle in bed together. No worries, you got one bed down here, one bed up there, everybody's happy. Up front, nothing too special to point out. It's a Ford Econoline E150, 2008. Got about 208,000 miles on the odometer, and this thing still runs like it does the day that I got it. Put in a really expensive, really fancy $35 head unit from Amazon. Gets me Bluetooth and the throne, as it were, and a doodle. Well, that about wraps up the video for today. I think I got everything. I don't know, we've been so busy, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, so it's actually kind of hard for me to keep track. If I missed something, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like the video, you want to help us out at Vamonos Vans, you know what to do. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and ring that little notification bell so that you are one of the first to know when we put out a new video. And with that, again, I am Ben with Vamonos Vans. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Follow us at Vamonos Vans on Instagram. Check us out at www.vamonosvans.com. See you in the next video.